Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. I'm your host for today's live stream. My name is Connor, and let's get right into things because, look, it's not pretty. The market hasn't been very good to us recently. It's been in a strong downtrend, but nonetheless, there's still many things to cover and many things going on, and it's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say, and I haven't heard a fat lady sing yet, so that's my stance on if we're still in a bull market or not. Yes, I still think we are. And let's kind of discuss everything and get into details right now. Welcome, everybody, to today's stream. Be sure to hit that like button on your way in. And let's go ahead and get this started like we always do with our crypto market overview. And as you can see, Bitcoin is currently at $56,900, Ethereum just below $3,000, and Solana below 140. XRP lost 50 cents hard. And all in all, prices are considerably lower from last week's Sunday live stream on most coins. Caspa is an exception. But yeah, most things are down abysmal, down horrendous from last week's stream. Anyway, shout out to everybody in our live chat. We got David W saying, "What up, Doe?" We got Abu saying, "Hi, buddy." What's up, Abu, my man? We got Mooner saying, "Let's go, Connor, ready to dominate the crypto market." Yes, sir. Good to have you here, Mooner. We got Elvis saying, "Hi, Connor. Hope you're having a great weekend." Thank you, Elvis. Weekend has been good. It's the end of it right now, but, it's been a very good weekend. Shout out to Johannes saying, "Peace and blessings, my man. Good to see you." And we got Spam Bankman Fried Chicken saying, "LOL, my man." That's a nice username. And Biggie Bags saying, "What's up?" What's up, Biggie Bags? Now, listen, let's do a little vibe check, see how everybody's doing. Start things off with a little bit of humor this live stream before we get serious. And let's look at this meme. So, right, a month ago or in March, Bitcoin's at 74K. Everybody thinking to themselves, "Damn, I should have bought more." The people that didn't buy any, they're saying, "I'm an idiot. Why didn't I buy Bitcoin at 57K? Well, here we are. Bitcoin's at 57K. And most people, this is their attitude, right? LOL, I'm not buying it. This is the psychology of the crypto market, and it's a very, very interesting phenomenon. I've talked at length about the psychology of the market, in the past here on this channel, and seeing it in real time and actually actioning the information, right? It takes a lot of conviction, right, to put your money on the line, enter the market. It takes balls to do so. But most people do have the urge to buy only when prices are high and when things are good. And right now, things are not good, straight up, right? In the crypto market, you got Germany selling, you got Mt. Gox selling. A lot of sell pressure out there in the market. Whatever reason you want to come up with on why the charts look like they do here. But this is general market psychology, and generally speaking, you're always better off doing the opposite of what most people think. And, most people are riddled with fear. Most people are saying to themselves, "I ain't buying it right now." But generally speaking, when things are this fearful, when things seem this bad, it's usually a good opportunity, and we're usually pretty close to a bottom at that. Moving on. So let's we got this guy Flood thinking USD. So during times like this, price is down. Who's the OG in the crypto market, right? Who's the guy who's always held it together, who's always held it down? CZ, the founder of Binance. Remember, he got thrown in jail. He got fined $4 billion by the United States government. And he was the guy who took down our man, Scam Bankman Fried Chicken, right? Because he basically, FTX had a bunch of the FTT token as collateral, and he basically nuked the price and, forced their loans to go under. And, he's largely responsible for taking down Scam Bankman fraud. But here we have a tweet saying, "I imagine CZ, do-rag on, contraband cell phone, cigarette lit, posted up in his bunk bidding the absolute shit out of this market." Because remember, CZ's in jail right now. He can't be tweeting like he would always do at critical times in the past. But now we must imagine what he's doing, and this is probably it. I can see CZ doing something like this as well. Right, an absolute legend, and he turned into a villain. A hero turned into a villain by the eyes of the law, but in the eyes of the people, he's a legend. He's still a hero. One more thing before we get into the market, a little psychology for you guys, right? A little kind of teaser into the mindset of things before we really dive into these charts and get into altcoins and take a look at the market at large. So Trading Axe, I mean, his account is largely satire, but it has a lot of truth to it. Let's go ahead and read this tweet out loud. He says, imagine bidding here when everyone is calling for $44,000 price targets. Altcoins making new lows right before the Ethereum ETF goes live. Think of all the money you could make if you stop being a pussy and step in here and believe in good for the next 6 months. Think of a real alt season, which doesn't start when alts have already pumped. It starts at the bottom. Very good point here. When alts are hammered down to nothing, think where we're at right now. Just like when Bitcoin was hammered down to nothing post FTX and made an enormous run after. Think of Bitcoin not even tagging 50,000 because 53,000 was the bottom. Obvious demand of wanting to bid a round number and others getting in before, right? This is very key. And I mean, I said this exact same thing the other day, yesterday, basically saying 53 to 50,000 is an obvious support level on the chart. It's also a big psychological round number. Also, when things seem so bad and fear is so extreme, the chances are high as close to a bottom. It's so true. Anyways, here, think of ETH trading back to range lows and logically going back to range highs. Think of this month being the last attack and you've already gone through the hardest rounds with your opponent. What's it going to be, kid? You in or out? The fans are waiting. Retardio. This is Hunter Campbell from the UFC. Basically, the guy who runs things. He's their lawyer, and he makes people basically fight. Even if they don't want to take the fight, he makes them step in. What a boss. Anyways, some good psychology to start things off, right? A lot of truth here. And, you know, 50K is a very, very obvious psychological round support number down here. And it's also an obvious kind of demand zone, what I like to call on the chart. Call it a level, call it a support level, call it demand, whatever you want to call it. 50K clearly has something going on with it. And the market front ran 50K, right? It tagged a low at $53,500 here. Now, from here, short-term speaking, I think it's a very, very high possibility that we do retest these lows down here, 53,500 to 54K. All right. Do we go to 50K? That's going to be telling. Even if we do go to 50K, I wouldn't be stressed. Why is that? Because like I said, it's a very obvious level, obvious support. And also the fact that we haven't even closed a daily or weekly candle below this wick. All right, there's a kind of a lot of signs pointing to things being capitulation last week. A lot of signs pointing there to being capitulation. And again, anyways, even if we do go to 50K, I wouldn't be worried. We just can't see any major, like, higher time frame candle closes below these lines, right? Here's our first line at 56,500. No daily candle has closed below it, which is a very positive sign. And like I said, even if we go and visit 50, as long as we don't see like a weekly candle close below that, there's still no reason to kind of stress. We did lose the 60K level, obviously. And hey, I did say in the past that if we lost 60K, I would change my stance and I would kind of exercise a ton of caution. But listen, I'm moving my personal goalpost, guys. I just am. I just don't think it's over yet. I don't think it's time to throw in the towel saying it's a new bear market, right? I'll say right here and right now that I was wrong, that 60K wouldn't hold. But anyways, I'm still not too stressed. And if we look at Bitcoin in the weekly time frame, it's really kind of obvious why we shouldn't be stressed. It looks completely fine on the higher time frames on the weekly plus. Let's go ahead and fix that. Yeah, it looks completely fine on the higher time frames, the weekly, the monthly. It did break this level. It did break this chart structure to the downside. And the last time it kind of did this broken chart structure was, yeah, when the ETF got approved in January. And then before that, when the banks crashed in March 2023, remember Silicon Valley Bank? And then before that, it was FTX in November 2022. So we really haven't had too many weekly structure breaks to the downside. We've had, I can count them on one hand, we've had 4, right? We've had FTX, we had the March banking collapse. We had the Bitcoin ETF approval fake out to the downside, and now we have this structure break. So yeah, all in all, definitely not very fun right now. But I just don't think it's the start of the next bear market with where things are, where we are post halving. Altcoins getting a major reset, just like they did in March of 2020, right? If you guys recall, altcoins went to the Pico bottom in March of 2020, and we're kind of having a similar altcoin reckoning post halving this cycle, right? Remember, alt season starts at the bottom, and largely speaking, a lot of these altcoins have revisited their bear market lows or have retraced significantly to form a higher bottom, but still down significantly. So yes, a lot of fear right now, a lot of red. It's not fun, but there's a lot of optimistic signs out there. And if you can be patient, it's the golden word in crypto. Also, what most people don't understand, most people come in here when things are really good, when meme coins are pumping, everything, everyone's seeing green, making money. Most people come into crypto then and expect to make money quickly. And then unfortunately they get caught in these downturns, right? Because, for somebody like myself who's been here and just never took a break, right? From the start of the last cycle, all the ups and downs, I've just been here the whole time, seeing everything happen, unfold live. These things don't necessarily bother me like they used to when I was new. But somebody who just hops into the market in bullish times and gets caught into something like this is really going to demotivate them and crush their spirit. But only the strong do survive. Seriously, only the strong do survive. So anyways, just to kind of wrap up this Bitcoin segment and this overall where we're at in the market, like I said, decent chance we come and we fill these lows down here at 53,500. Do we go to 50K? That will be the big test. As long as we don't have any weekly candle closes below 50K, I think we're still fine. But if we were in a bear market, I'd say we're going to 40K, 45K next on the weekly, right? That's down here at the yearly open at 42,000. But the fact that we're not in a bear market makes me think that we're pretty dang close to a bottom here. That's just what I'm thinking. That's just what I see when I look at this chart. So yeah, all in all, if that gives you a little bit of hopium or confirmation bias, great. So be it. I just don't think it's over just yet. Let's go and catch up with our chat again. Shout out to Richie saying, what's up? Or what's popping, Connor? Definitely not the market. No, sir. No, sir. YouTuber Go Kill says, facts. Hey, Connor, you look handsome. Thank you, my friend. I shaved my beard. I went with the clean shaven face to show off my aristocratic facial features. It is what it is. Anyways, I appreciate it. Ricarda Ferreira says Netmind and T. So a lot of talk about Netmind in the AI niche. A lot of people say Netmind's one of the best AI tokens to hold out there. It did gap down. I don't know why it gapped down, but it did have a big gap down. Looking like a stock. It gapped from 580 down to 420. So yeah, I don't know why it gapped down like this, but it did. 30% gap. Now let's see. So being that this chart, they did a fair launch right on Pancake Swap, and it launched and it just went vertical straight up. This is log scale for your reference. But being that this chart just, it started in this manner, we kind of just have to take the first time it actually based and use that. Right? Use the first time it actually based on the chart, and that's over here in this entire region. So what I want to go ahead and do is, first of all, put a line at this first wick high. So yeah, I mean, this is a big area from $4 down to $2.20. Look, if Netmind's tech is as good as they say it is, right? If they have the Google partnerships and like the NVIDIA interests and all these other things like they say they do, well, then bidding in this green box should provide massive opportunity for this cycle, right? Will this go 100x from here? It's possible, but not necessarily likely. 10x, 20x, 30x is much more likely from this box to our cycle peak, especially that it's an AI coin. So yeah, that's my take on Netmind looking at the chart right now. Let's see. James says, hi, Connor. Thoughts on TET? Well, we are in this green zone, and during the capitulation, we did reach the bottom of the green zone at 550, and we're still hovering in it. Chart looks horrible. There's no denying that. On the weekly, it's just vertical down, right? The last time it based was over here in June. Really, it was May. It was basing in May, lost $12, and it's been a free fall, another 50% drop here. Did not reach its bear market lows, which is somewhat encouraging, I suppose. But yeah, all in all, this TET chart is reset. It's reset at the bottom, basically. I mean, it can't necessarily go much lower. Of course, it can revisit its bear market lows after it launched, which is over here at $4. But, you know, largely speaking, this doesn't have much more downside unless it's just a total scam, which I don't think it is. I personally don't think it is. So yeah, TET, if you believe in the project, this is simply a time to either do nothing if you're holding already or add more coins to your holdings. If you don't believe in the project, well, then you wouldn't be asking me about the question, probably about the project in general. So I doubt it. But yeah, that's my take on TET right now as well. Can't necessarily go much lower, and it's in this green demand zone at 650. That's been on my chart for a while, so it has some kind of relevance to me. Let's see. We got JC over here saying, hi, Connor. Hope all is well. What's going on, JC, my man? Alan Ball says, good morning from Melbourne. What's up, Alan? Good to have you here. Benjamin saying, hi, Connor. Do you know Okta? If you know, what are your thoughts on it? Peace. Yeah. Okta is one of the better ones. Deepin AI coin out there. And it's been largely resilient. It's been largely resilient. It's holding like a champ. It's holding like the early investors and the team, believe in this project long term, which is very encouraging to see. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the better Deepin AI projects out there. And I mean, the chart hasn't given up a budge. This is very interesting actually to look at, because it's just, compared to everything else out there, this is like the strongest altcoin. So how do we play this? I mean, look, if it's going to keep holding this structure, we just want to buy it at the range lows, which is around 150. Yeah, it's really around $1.50. If we're talking about buy levels. And then, below that, 125. But yeah, good project. Lewis says, are the Germans selling again? Look, apparently they started buying back because they sold so much. A lot of people are saying that this is fake news that Germany's buying back. They just sold all this. Why would they buy it back? Yeah. What are those Germans up to? I mean, look, it'd be smart of them to buy it back, because Bitcoin is an asset you either believe in long term or you don't believe in it at all. And if you believe in it long term, you don't sell it. You just don't, right? If you understand what is happening with the fiat monetary system, how it's a complete scam, and you have Bitcoin, you just don't sell it. It's very simple. Like it's black or white. It's a yes or no, right? There's no tiptoeing around it. You either believe in Bitcoin long term or you don't. But yeah, I mean, it would be smart of Germany if they did actually buy it back, like the news states. But regardless, hopefully they're done selling. We'll see how things progress. If they're not done selling, well then we're going lower because they have hundreds of millions of dollars to offload. But if they are done, they don't have any more to sell. There's a good chance we start going up from here. Let's see. Lewis says Caspa will be the best outside of Bitcoin eventually. Yeah, I agree. It's funny. Whenever you would ask like an older person about cryptocurrency over the past few years, they would always say something like, "Yeah, I don't do crypto, but I want to find the next Bitcoin. That's something I would buy. The next Bitcoin. How do you find that?" Caspa is like the closest resemblance we have to that. So yeah, I agree with you, Lewis, that Caspa will be the best outside of Bitcoin eventually. And it's holding up very, very well. The dip below 15 cents was very short-lived. And anything around 15 cents or lower is going to provide for an amazing buying opportunity. But even now it's 16 and a half. With where I see CAS going again, I would like to really see $2 for Caspa. Out of my holdings, the ones I can say I have like the highest conviction in are Caspa and Render as well. I really like. I think Render will do really well. Let's see. Stoneheart says, "How are the women out there?" They're too good to me, man. They're too good to me. Janine says, "Still holding. Thoughts on TAO? Still fundamentally sound and a hold." Yes, in my opinion, at least. In my opinion, I think so. A lot of people say TAO is done. TAO is dead. It's a scam. It's vaporware. It's useless. I don't know. To me, they were saying the same thing about it down here when I was buying it at like $60, right? Same thing with most of the coins that have performed well for me this cycle. Everybody was calling it, total BS and just thrashing it, and then it pumps 10x, 20x. But yeah, I mean, TAO down from 770. It's down significantly, 70%. As are all AI coins, right? If you pair this up with any other AI coin out there besides Octa, they're all going to be down relatively the same amounts. I'm curious. Even the strongest performing one was Delicium AGI. And how's that one doing currently? 72%. Yeah, so I mean, TAO is TAO. It's a very, very big vision. It's a big project. And like I've stated many times, we're investing in an early stage startup here. As with most of the altcoins that I like, the new coins of this cycle with lower market caps. Obviously, TAO is now is it even still in the billions with this? But we started off buying TAO at a 300 million market cap when it was a smaller mid cap. It goes to 3 billion plus now at 1.5 billion. But yeah, still an early stage startup, even though it's grown so large to a $1.5 billion valuation. Can they work out the kinks? Can they make things happen? Can they fix all the errors? Obviously, there was the validator breach where 99% of the network was unaffected by it, but a lot of people made it seem like the world was ending. Anyways, not to go off on too much of a tangent here, Janine. Yes, TAO is still a fundamentally solid hold for me personally. It's in this green demand zone. It came down here to the low 200s, right? It had a low of $197. And, all in all, buying at the bottom of this green box will probably offer you a decent return, not financial advice, by the end of the cycle. Even if it does drop lower, I'm confident it will go higher. I'm still holding my TAO. Let's see. We have TT in the house. TT says, "Happy Sunday, Connor. Can you check DOP?" Certainly, we can do that, TT. I'm not sure which DOP you are referring to. Might be this one. Yeah, it's got to be this one. All right, so I have no idea what this is, TT, but looking at the chart right now, so first of all, it looks like something really bad happened here. It looks like somebody sold a few percent of the supply in one clip, this candle. And it seems to be putting in a rounding bottom and trying to break through this level here, TT. So look, if you like this coin, again, I have no idea what it does. But if you like this, you want to see it flip this level here and go on a run. Right? It's very important. This is a very key level of 1.5 cents, just structurally speaking. So yeah, anything below it should provide a good entry if this is going to go higher. But fundamentally wise, I have no idea what it is, but it looks like put in a double bottom down here, swept the lows, strong run up to resistance. Now it's trying to break through and go higher. So high risk probably with what the project is. Again, I have no idea, but chart doesn't look horrible. It looks like it wants to recover. We'll see if it gets wrecked again by this another big sell, though. To be wary of that with these on-chain coins. Let's see. Josh says, thoughts on Render and Prime? So first of all, like I just said, Josh, before even seeing your question, Render is up there with like projects that I'm most confident in. It is a rare one, being that it was around in the last cycle. And you guys know my take on multiple cycle coins. Most of them die off after the first bull run and they never come back. Render is the rare exception. Now Render currently, let's go to the weekly. Render currently on the weekly again. You know, this would be the lowest weekly close since February 12th. Or February 18th, I should say. But even still, you aren't closing beneath this wick here at 6. I mean, you're right on it right now. We'll see how it shapes up. Anyway, structurally speaking, let's get this off log scale so we can look at our trend line accurately. Structurally speaking, we've lost a very key trend line support here. All right, used to be resistance, was acting as support. We've now lost it. All right, so we can't ignore that. Good chance it wants to come down here closer to $6 to $5, spend some time there, and then hopefully start to go up again. But yeah, I'd be looking at around below $6 for Render at the moment. And then Echelon Prime, another one that's down horrendous. This chart was looking really good. Now it's looking really bad. But what did it do? It came directly to the origin of the pump. I'm going to clear off this zone, and I'm going to put a fresh one here in the weekly just to illustrate the fact that, look, this is the origin of the move. And all that happened was it went straight up and then straight back down to the origin of the move. Generally speaking, the origins of very large moves are great demand zones. They're the highest odds demand zones to hold. So down here to around, yeah, to $6. See, what I don't love is when these coins come back into where they were, say, in the bear market, which for Prime is below $6. Right? It's just a lot of support levels lost and a lot of selling pressure to make it go there. TED is one that's done that. All right, if we look at TED real quick, the listing candle close high was over here at $14. And, you know, TED has made its way back below that, and now it's coming towards the bottom. You know, so I really want to see these coins hold this level, basically the listing candle high close price. Anyways, back to Prime. You know, we haven't gone beneath it yet. For Prime, again, that says $6. But yeah, if it goes to 6, I mean, why wouldn't it go back down to 3? right? So we don't want to see it really close beneath $6. Scam Bankman Fried Chicken McGee the third says, could Router Protocol still pump during alt season because of its investors? Yeah. So Router Protocol is one that I've downsized my position considerably, but I made sure to leave some tokens in just because I know that if it does eventually pump, I just want to have at least some skin in the game. Even if I make like lunch money off of it, at least mentally I'll know it's like, all right, I held this stupid thing for years. At least I can capture the pump. But it's a pretty low impact position now in my portfolio. It's like one of my smallest coins now. But yeah, I do still think it can pump. Look, I saw Matic go down 80% in 2020 and then pull a 300x. I saw Telcoin do nothing for years and years and years, pull multiple 100x's out of thin air. I've seen the wildest things happen in this market with my own eyes, right? Not somebody else telling me that this stuff happened. I've seen it with my own eyes and it's impacted my psyche. So I know that anything can happen in this market. And I just mentioned Telcoin. If there's one coin I think can pull a Telcoin type of pump, we'll just go back in time here actually and look at that. Right, the infamous Telcoin here. December 2020. Right, people were just hating on this thing. The believers held. Basically what happened December of 2020, it just did not stop going up. I'm going to take a percentage. This is a weekly. In 2 weeks, it went multiple 100x's. But anyways, we'll take the first week of January here, 26,000%. That's a 270x. In 4 months. Right after going down, doing nothing. Again, I've just seen the wildest things happen. So for something like Router Protocol to recover, when the chart looks like this, I think it's possible. Yeah, I do. I do think it's possible. Right? Like, let's be objective for a second. Let's look at this chart. I've seen charts like this pump. Router Protocol has investors. Their mainnet is live. Could it pull the Telcoin? Yeah, it could. I think it could. But the one that I think could really do something like that is actually Cubic. Right? To actually go and pull a few 100x's, I think Cubic can do something like that, but we'll see. Let's see. Frankie Legend says Germany is testing Bitcoin's liquidity. I mean, Bitcoin's a very liquid market, man. They sold hundreds of millions. It's pretty impressive. But shout out to Frankie Legend. Abu, ZRO levels. I know you mean Connor. My name's not Corner, it's Connor. ZRO, one of the few airdrop coins that's doing well. And why is that? Well, the valuation wasn't $10 billion like some of these other ones. Right? Valuation is actually quite conservative. It's currently $433 million. Okay, so I mean the fully diluted is $4 billion, but what's in circulation right now is not horrible. Anyways, levels on ZRO. 350 is pretty key if you ask me. Yeah, below here it's 350. Now, if I'm going to take a fib extension, I guess I kind of have to use this wick high. If we're talking bull market targets here, we're going to use our 0.618 fib extensions. 0.618 is at 750, 1.618 is at 1070, 2.618 is at 1380. So I'd be looking at these if you're bullish on ZRO for this cycle. Now, shorter term, 350, would be the area to consider being a buyer from right here. People who use fiat, we call them poor. Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is the Giga Chad, the ultimate Giga Chad. Let's see. Michael Scruggs says, hello, Connor. Axon DAO. I fear it may be early for this kind of tech, but believe it will still pump hard on speculation. What do you think? And portfolios 15 to 20x from here. I'm not too up to date with Axon DAO, Michael. DSI. Yikes. I mean, they got the bad boys. They got the bad boys doing their town hall. I mean, they definitely hired Mario for marketing, which is it a good thing? That's very subjective. Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of kind of mixed feelings about this one, just from first glance. Crypto rank isn't always reliable, but for the most part, they do have some good information. So let's see. Okay, they did a liquidity bootstrapping that's currently up 84x. All-time high was up 570x. Look, this is extremely high risk, Michael. No matter how you put it. Most of these liquidity bootstraps don't do anything. At this point, if you want to buy this thing, you have to wait for the origin of the pump, in my opinion, which is at 6 to 7 cents. You wait for this consolidation for price to come back in if you want it. In terms of the fundamentals, I can't speak on it. I don't know anything about it necessarily, but interesting niche, decentralized science. Can it come back? Or can that do well? We'll see. Thoughts on Fetch AI? Well, it's now ASI, isn't it? Or what's the new one called? What's the merger? Artificial superintelligence. Oh, they took FET's ticker because they knew FET was the top G. Interesting. FET really bossed these other projects around with this merger, huh? Weekly starting to come into play. Yearly open down here at 67, which does jump out at me, but doesn't mean it needs to be hit. Depends how F this market really is. But it does look like it wants $1 from here. It looks like it wants $1. Tested 104, but yeah. If I was to bid this, I would be bidding $1. And then the yearly open as well. Between $1 and really 70 cents. That's your level to look at FET if you want to buy it. Shout out to Jasper saying hi, Connor. What's up, Jasper, my man? Good to see you. We got Mr. Sellers Home saying always appreciate the advice. Let's effing go. What's up, Mr. Sellers Homes? Topi says, evening, Connor. What's your thoughts on SPF? See it breaking 0.85 soon. If I should reclaim that level again because it's been testing that new level numerous times. Well, Topi, my man, someone who's been a longtime supporter of Crypto Empire here, and is happy to have Topi here in our live chat, and I appreciate him giving his take on the coin first before we go ahead and take a look at it. Let's see, SPF. It must be this one. Is this it, Topi, on Cardano SPF? Am I missing something? Or is it on-chains? No. Topi, my man, I'm not sure which SPF we're talking about here. If you can tell me which one on which exchange, we can go ahead and take a look and answer that question for you. Jasper says he got stopped at a render at 580. Have you heard this news about Germany buying back their Bitcoin? Yeah, we took a look at that already, Jasper. Discussed it. Discussed the news. And I mean, we kind of went into it, a little discussion about how fiat money is a total scam, and if you believe in Bitcoin long term, then it would be super smart by Germany to buy it back. And that's what I have to say about this, right? They can sell it for euros now and do whatever they want with those euros, but the euro, the dollar, whatever, it's trending towards zero. 10 years, it might not exist. So yeah, it'd be very smart of Germany to buy it back, and that should provide some relief in the charts, and we're already seeing some relief in the charts. Benjamin, do you still expect the base airdrop? Still farming on Farmbase Pro thanks to you. So yeah, I'm still also farming on Farmbase Pro. Do I expect the base airdrop? I'm going to come back to what I've said about all these other airdrops, right? If you search on my channel, airdrop. Let's go look at this for a second. So Blast, it's the rare exception where they tell you they're going to do an airdrop beforehand. Starknet said they would not do an airdrop. They did. ZK Sync said they would not do an airdrop. They did. Layer 0 said they would not do an airdrop. They did. Arbitrum said they would not do an airdrop. They did. All of them Ethereum layer 2s. Base saying they're not going to do an airdrop. I think they will. Just off of everything that's happened in the past with all the other layer 2s saying they wouldn't do an airdrop, and then they do it. And I get it. And I show you guys. So I'm still farming on Farmbase Pro. I mean, I use Base, quite a bit. So even without the farming on Farmbase Pro, I'm hoping to get it on some actual wallets that I just use. So yeah, that's what I think about the Base airdrop. I have a pretty high hit rate for these airdrops. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Base. I think they will do it. You still believe in Zephyr Protocol? Look, I like the project. I like what it stands for. It's just fighting an uphill battle with, the regulatory, with the government or top-down control we live in nowadays, right? I mean, look, the US dollar is used for like every illegal transaction. They want to say crypto, but in reality, it's just the USD, cash. This would be the same exact thing as cash. So it's not inherently good. It's not inherently bad. It's just something that exists and can be used by an individual. So I think something like Zeph is much needed in the world. Can it perform well? I mean, it already had a crazy run up. Apparently there was a Chinese kind of cabal that made this pump happen. So, right now it's definitely not my highest conviction play. Again, I like it. Just the market doesn't favor it. Excuse me. Voice is a bit raspy right now. Let's see. Sam's uncle says, what's your support for Pepe? Well, notice the daily 200 moving average perfect tap. Currently at the origin of the pump. That's something I would outline. Yeah, I would be looking. Let's talk about this for a second, actually. This is interesting. Let's kind of shift our conversation a little bit. I'll get back to your question in a moment, but let's talk about the general hive mind and, again, how the market is always changing, and there will be new stuff. Anyway, we have a tweet here by Waz. He says, 1 year ago, people were posting the best risk-free make it bags for this cycle: Unibot, which is the Telegram sniper tool, and Rollbit, right? These were the general consensus. They were never mine, but if you were on crypto Twitter or YouTube, that's all everybody was talking about. Rollbit, 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 Unibot. Anyway, today people are posting the best risk-free make it bags for this cycle, WIF and Pepe. I just know there will be lessons in there probably. And this is definitely a very good point. Right now, the market's down. You got all these guys on Twitter saying, this is the best. This is the best. Right? It did really good the past few months, so it's going to do really good in a year from now. It doesn't always work like that. Pepe is one where it's like, okay, yeah, it's the meme coin. Came even before WIF. So Pepe could be the exception, but even still, there's so many people in massive profits on this. If they decide to sell, it's over. Supports for Pepe, though, you're holding the origin of the pump currently on the weekly, which is encouraging. And on the daily, you tap the 200 moving average. So it's certainly at support, right? And then you have this horizontal level, which sticks out of me here, which is just below the 200 EMA. But yeah, this tweet is so true, guys. This tweet is so true. There will be new coins that end up doing the 100, 500, 1000 X's like WIF and Pepe have already done. That's just how things always work. Even the GOAT, the meme coin GOAT, the Warren Buffett of meme coins crash. Right? If you look at what he was posting last year at this time, right? He was posting coins like fuck Pepe and monkeys and stuff like that, right? Those are all in the trenches. They're at zero now, basically. But he was able to adapt to the market and get into the new stuff, right? Like Pepe, like Brett, and catch those 100 X's. That's just one example of things. The stuff you see right now, most likely a lot of it will be completely irrelevant in a year from now. That's how things always work. Which is why when you're up 20x, 50x, even 10x, you at least sell a little bit. You at least cover your initials and take a little bit of profit. But if you're up 20x plus, right? Let's say you put in, I don't know. So you put in $4,000 and you catch a 20x, 25x, and it goes to 100 grand. If you don't at least take 50K out, you're crazy, right? If this market has taught you anything here, it's that profits are short-lived and you need to take them off of the table when you have them. Because things like this always happen. These huge market-wide downturns, they always happen. Anyways, let's get back to this. Let's see. Do I still believe in cute cat candle? How could I say yes with a chart that looks like this? No, I mean, it's clearly dead. I mean, I hate to say that. I liked it. I thought it was a good meme, but market has proven me wrong. So yeah, this one, I mean, it's at a 39K market cap. I bought it at like an 800K market cap. It did go to 50, but it was very short lived. And yeah, it's floored out, right? The dev clearly sold this thing for it to go back down to where it started. So yeah, I would say it's done, unfortunately. Guilty Fire says, guys, please smash the like button or he'll have to smash your girl. That's right, Guilty File, my man, looking out for the like button. Appreciate your support. Smash that like button, guys. Smash it up. Let's see. Things Like Billionaire says, love from Pakistan. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the love. Frederick says, hey, Connor, relatively new here. I love your channel. Big fan. I don't know if you've ever touched on this or even heard of it, but could give you a heads up, BSB. Thanks. Keep up the good work. I think we've looked at this one in the past before. Many, many months ago when it was still pretty new. Anyways, Frederick, appreciate your support, bro. In terms of this as a meme, it's a derivative of the Wall Street bets. And in terms of the chart, it did break a pretty important structure to the downside over here. And if I was wondering where it could be headed next, it would be here in this white box. These artistic skills here. Here. If I was looking for a buy area, it would be this. I mean, it can't go much lower than this level. So that's what I would be waiting for if I was looking into that one. Topi said SFP to be precise. There it is, Topi. Safe, pal. So you have it breaking 85 cents. Well, I certainly see why you say it's going to break 85 cents. Right, that's pretty clear to me. Right, basically got all of this. Resistance. Now, I did see it's on perps. So I think a lot of people would get completely destroyed. I'm thinking, where do people have their stop? It's below this low. They have their stops here. Okay, so, you know, people are sizing up their trades like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's a 30% drop. You can't do that on leverage. You just can't. Okay, so maybe they have their stops beneath this low or beneath these lows. Even if it does break 85, market makers are going to want to grab that liquidity. So, you know, people are sizing up their trade. They're putting their stop here, 12% lower. That's where I would put the bid, right? I would start bidding at this first low. If I thought it was going to break 85 cents, I wouldn't enter here. I would wait for like 70 cents. And then I would be looking, I think a 50% move is more than enough if you're on leverage. Something like this. So yeah, I would just watch out for where the liquidity is. Right. Think of the person who's just getting into trading, or even the experienced person. They want to long it. They're expecting the breakout. They size up their trade. They're like, here's the low. I put my stop under the low. That's where you take the entry, guys. And that's at 70 cents here in this case, Topi. Anyways, yeah, I could see it breaking out here. I like the chart. It's an interesting how it's rounding here at the top. It's rounding. But this is an ascending pennant. It's actually an ascending triangle because this is the weekly. So a lot of chicken scratch looking on this chart. But, you know, all in all, I could see the 85-cent breakout happening. I would just wait for a bit lower for an entry. You might have to be patient. You might have to wait a few days or even a week or two to get that entry. But if you think it's going to break out, good chance it does go lower first before it happens. Am I still bullish on space? Nah. Stabbery, they didn't buy. Germany didn't buy in. Their sell order didn't get filled. They're still selling. They won't buy at 57K after selling at 55K. We got a lot of back talk or a lot of talk between Jasper and Stabbery in our live chat. Let's see. Scam Bankman Fry says thoughts on Pepe going to 69 billion to 100 billion. Being a lock for Pepe. Nothing is a lock. Nothing is a lock in this market. There's no guarantees, right? That's whenever you say that something is a guarantee in this market, maybe Bitcoin to like 100K is a guarantee. But even still, I say that and I can be humbled. But yeah, Pepe to 69 billion is by no means a lock. Is there a decent probability it does happen? Yeah. Still a 20x away from here, 21x away, which is pretty wild to think about. Yeah, but if there's going to be one meme coin to do something crazy this cycle, the new Doge, the new SHIB, it does make sense. It's Pepe, so it's a pretty good horse to bet on. Still bullish on Based AI. Yeah, I do think Based AI is a good AI coin. Crypto God says Rollbit dead. Seems that way. I never believed in the hype. I always said Rollbit was haram, so I never bought it. But yeah, this thing, it was at $1 billion market cap. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. All right, hit 800 million. Now it's at 200 million market cap. And they're going to ETH, or they went to ETH. They got off Solana. That's jokes. Yeah, anyways, Rollbit never was something I was interested in here. Shout out to Raja saying, salute Connor. Let's go, brother. Hashtag smash that like. I appreciate your support. XDC doing good utility stuff in the background. I mean, listen, XDC's been doing good stuff in the background for the past decade, it seems, or the past 5-6 years. Right, the time to buy XDC was March 2020 and the COVID crash below a penny. Here, right, at 0.0001, you know, it goes up to 14 cents. You get your 100x. It's an old cycle coin, my man. I'm not a big fan of these old cycle coins that have already gone 100x's in previous cycles. I know XDC is for enterprises and, you know, the financial system is going to be used for all this great stuff. I never bought into that personally. The time to buy into that stuff was 4 years ago. I don't know, man. It's not something I'm into here in this channel. Meme coins I don't touch. Let's see. There are 1,000 times more coins now too. More competition, way different than previous cycles. Yeah, that's what most people don't understand, actually. That's the point of this stream, is that most people don't understand the market is so fundamentally different than what it's been in the past. You can't go by the same script that you've used in previous cycles. You can't use the same playbook, especially in altcoins. Bitcoin and ETH, sure, but you know, this altcoin market is completely different from what it was because of dilution, where it's just completely different now. Cardazzo says, thoughts on G Trump? I mean, I still like the coin. It's not doing too hot, though. It is currently at a 665K market cap and Let's go to the 1 hour. Just so we get some more candles to look at here. Okay, so we're revisiting this initial structure. Listen, I would have really liked to see this thing hold a 1 mil market cap, but it didn't. So on the 1 hour, I'm going to isolate this. Basically grabbing this wick high to that candle body open. I mean, this is our level. But yeah, again, can it recover? It certainly can. If something good happens with Trump, I mean, I'm sure it would shoot up right away. But yeah, market slow. Well, I'm trying to see what's a different Trump coin. I need some data here to compare. I need some reference. I need some reference here. Okay, so this did bounce. I said it would come back down to the green zone, the origin of the pump here, and it did. I need to look at some other Trump coins. This one losing a pretty key level. You don't like to see that. There's a MAGA on base. And it did drop beneath its key support, but it has reclaimed it. But yeah, all in all, so yeah, G Trump isn't looking great right now. Let's face reality. It's very slow selling. It's right. Aside from this strong selling, all this is very slow. Most likely small holders exiting. We need an on-chain detective like Handsome Finance, I guess, to come and take a look and, see where this money's flowing. Right, all the people selling their little bags of G Trump down here. But I want to see it recover a 1 million market cap, and then we can talk. Armando says, much money is made here. Thank you for all the content. Good time to buy the bear fears. Yes, I mean, I spend the first like 15 minutes of this stream talking about that, right? I agree with you, Armando. The money is made here. The money is made here. The people that can actually survive this time are going to be the ones that end up, most likely, probability speaking, profiting a lot. There's always going to be the person that hops in when things are really good and catches a crazy meme and makes stupid money out of nowhere. But for the most part, the money is made during times like this of extreme fear. Smash the like button, yes sir. Take breaks. This check Superverse. This is Elliot Trades coin. I mean, look, it looks pretty abysmal here. It looks like capitulation. Lost the yearly open and lost the origin of the pump. All right, this little demand area. It looks pretty abysmal. Well below the daily 200 EMA. I'm sure a lot of other gaming coins look very similar. So you can't really say like, oh, this one's the worst when a lot of the gaming market looks the same. But yeah, it looks pretty bad, man. 50 cents is a nice psychological round number, which is what we like to look for. Look, there's no way to put it, man. Like, let's be objective here. And, if we draw this trend line, it broke a major macro trend line. It broke its bull market trend line that started in November 2023. So I would be weary. I would be weary of super. It doesn't look great by any means. Random says he's betting on TAO and BNB. Those are pretty good coins to bet on based off of fundamentals. Just imagine CZ right now. He would appreciate that comment saying you're betting on BNB. Check stats, please. Another pretty abysmal looking chart. I mean, nice pump here, 30% up on the day, but you basically just recovered the capitulation. And all right, you got daily bullish divergence here, and you recovered the capitulation. So yeah, this could be the start of something new here. Here's your daily time frame bullish div. So I mean, look, anything below this, like if we're gonna refer to trading axes, starts at the bottom, right? All season starts from the bottom. This could be the bottom here for sats. You got daily bullish divergence. You need to reclaim this yellow dotted line level, and you can start to recover seriously. But yeah, I mean, this chart's been in a strong downtrend since it started, and it just made a lower low, and it's yet to make a higher high. So this is still a downtrend, and it should be treated like a downtrend. But there are some signs of a potential bottom forming and a reversal. Benjamin says, hit the like. Thanks again, Connor. No problem. Take a break says Arbitrum, please. So yeah, layer twos. Interesting stuff coming out of layer twos this cycle. So this guy, Justin Bond, says a list of the top 10 layer twos by market cap, a dystopian nightmare of centralization. So Arbitrum, fundamentally, it can steal all users' funds instantly with a multi-sig. It has permission proposer, centralized operator, can exploit MEV and centralized sequencer, can censor, and all these other layer twos can basically do the same. Base, Optimism, Blast, ZK, Sync, Linea, Mantle, Scroll, Optimism, whatever. They're all basically centralized Fed chains. So with that being said, I don't like the future of any of them. Now, ARB, it's horrible, man. It's really, really, really horrible. This thing made new lows. The VCs are selling. Way too much sell pressure to even consider holding a coin like this. Scams do pump the hardest. Scams do pump hard. This is a scam as far as I'm concerned. But I don't know. I would stay away. When comparing opportunity cost to say coins on my watch list here, like CAS, Render, Tau, Cubic, SMH, stuff like that, INJ, I just wouldn't touch Arbitrum. It just wouldn't even make the list. Cole Rabby says, what's the best thing to do right now while my OR portfolio pushes me to apply at McDonald's? The best thing for you to do would be to go to the gym and get in very, very good physical shape. Because it sounds like you're suffering right now from your portfolio going down. But if you want to actually not suffer, you need to force yourself to suffer by hard physical training. It's the one thing that will make you feel really good no matter what. So I would say get your ass in the gym and make yourself sweat to the point that your shirt is covered in sweat and you're short of breath, right? That's how hard you have to train, and you'll probably feel a lot better than you feel right now. And with that being said, listen, it's like almost 1 a.m. and I do have training in the morning, so I can't be up too late here. Let me take a last look at these questions and see if there's anything here going on. Let's see. I mean, nothing crazy here in the chat. Crypto Independence says this is not a very good correction. Indeed, we needed this correction. Yeah, we did. We really did. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream right now. Bob Franklin says you're right. Get the endorphins going. Armando says 100. Good luck. Thank you, Jasper. Johnny Boy says no cubic today. I know you're not in love with the idea of trying to tie your name to a project. I mean, I mentioned cubic a few times in the stream, and if we want to look at it here, we can. It's right here at the top of my watch list. But yeah, let's see. We're at a very critical support level. In reality, this will be the last thing I look at. But in reality, we have to look at safe trade, because the coin market cap chart doesn't go back in time enough for me to really care. Now, let's see if we're still in our weekly demand zone on cubic, because that's the only thing I really care about is weekly demand. It's not loading. Let's see if we can refresh our page here. Okay. So we are still in weekly demand. It's the main thing I'm really looking out for here on cubic. This is the origin of the pump. Again, if you were watching the stream, you heard me bring up origin of the pump a lot today, because they're always the best demand zones. Anyways, cubic's still in that level. All right, if it drops beneath 1876 per billion, yeah, then we're in trouble, 1900. But as of now, we're still in weekly demand, which is encouraging. And there's a lot of good stuff happening on the developmental side of cubic too, so I like it. I do like the coin. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream right now. I hope you enjoyed this one. Be sure to smash that like button if you haven't smashed up the like button already. And hope you enjoyed the stream. Stay strong out there, folks. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. And I'll go out on a limb and I'll say I don't think that this bull market's over. That's just me, though. We'll see what happens. Remember, days like this or times like this, when we're in the very bullish times, this is why we have to sell. This is why we have to take profit. Anybody who says otherwise, anybody who questions you when you're selling at the top, when things have pumped like crazy, tell them to do some research on how the crypto market works, because it always, always, always comes crashing down. See you all in the next video. Have a good one. Connor from Crypto Empire signing out.